What is up, guys? Welcome back to Futbol Asada. Today we're going to be reacting to Mexico's Copa America exit. Where is Mexico going from here? And if you guys can't tell already, I've lost my voice from screaming at these players or just all the anger I have. I'm actually done with this team. I don't know, Chris, so what are some initial thoughts you got before we start these topics?
I think we can get right into it, bro, because my reaction is almost like what needs to happen. I think we all saw what happened. I think Mexico exposed their single most biggest problem is that they're not talented enough. Like, they're not good enough. Like, they're not, like, you have a manager that is not good enough. He wasn't qualified for the job. I know everybody loved him because he got a bronze medal at the Olympics, but Jimmy Lozano was never fit for the job. Like, he was a fracaso with Necaxa and Querétaro, was never, like, really a good, he's not proven as a manager. How can he be the national team manager? So when you have someone like that, and then you give him a roster of a bunch of guys who suck and are talentless, it's just a recipe for disaster. Like, sometimes you can have a very good manager can like uplift a team that's not very talented and like exceed their expectations. But for the most part, like, if you want to be successful, bro, you need talent. Like, even like talent can sometimes overcome like inept coaching. And Mexico just doesn't have talent anymore. Like, look at our team, bro. Like, the base of our team is no longer what it was 5 to 10 years ago when it was all players in Europe. Like, pretty much a whole starting 11 in Europe. Even some players coming off the bench in Europe. Like, the base of the team now is all Liga MX. Like, pretty much almost the entire roster is all Liga MX. A lot of more than half the starters are Liga MX. And Liga MX is a league that has completely fallen off. Like 15, 20 years ago, having a full Liga MX roster wasn't that bad. Why? Because Liga MX was competing in Libertadores. There was promotion relegation. They had a minutes rule that forced teams to play young players, and there wasn't as many like foreign spots. Like, whenever foreigners would come to the league, it'd be the best of the best. And back then, the best players in Liga MX were Mexican. So like that's why, like, back then that could fly. But now that the league has completely fallen off, the league is getting closer and closer to MLS level. Like, we're not. I think Liga MX is still clear of MLS, but it's getting closer to MLS level. That can no longer be the base of your team, because this is what happens. Now teams like Venezuela have more talent than you. Jamaica has more talent than you. Even though we beat them, Jamaica has more players playing in the Prem than we do. Ecuador has more talent than you. You could have never said that 5 years and way before that. Like, never. But now that's the reality. That's Mexico's biggest issue. They don't have enough good players. Like, the Liga MX players are no good. The ones in Europe, they're not even playing in great teams. Feyenoord is a decent team, but they're not in a top 5 league. Luis Chavez plays in the Russian league. Cesar Montes plays for a team that just got relegated. They're going to be playing in La Liga 2. Johan Vasquez plays for a team that's usually bottom of half of the table. This year they finished mid-table in Serie A. That's decent. Arteaga was playing in the Belgian league. Now he plays in Liga MX. Like, they really have nothing. Now Julian Quinones is going off to Saudi Arabia. Like, this roster is basically a Liga MX All-Star team with a Russian league player and like a few guys playing for decent-ish teams in Europe. Like, it's not what it is before, bro. Like, the main problem is the talent. We've fallen so far behind on talent. That's the main issue for me.
I don't even know where to start because, yeah, you're spot on with everything. And the thing is, going back to Liga MX, what we were just talking about, in 2006, when La Volpe was a manager and the team was mainly Liga MX, it wasn't that bad because the best players in Liga MX were Mexican. Now, if you do like an all-star 11 of Liga MX, how many of those players are actually Mexican? I think the majority of them are extranjeros, to be honest. And that sucks because that's the best of our league. And we have no talent on the pitch to show for it. I really like what Cristian Martinoli, the TV Azteca commentator, said about this team. Mexico is now like so many steps behind, so many levels behind these countries because we have to work so much harder to win these games based on the talent we have. And it sucks because Mexico's always been known as a team that fights for the badge, le echa ganas, le echa huevos. They're a team that's capable to give you an upset against a top 10 team in the world one day. But now, we're not even a top 50 team in the world, to be honest. If you put us in the Euros, I think we lose to every team. We lose to Scotland. Scotland lost every game, I think. We lose to Georgia. We lose to Albania. We lose to Ukraine. And back then, bro, we'd give games to Germany. We give games to Netherlands. We give games to all these big clubs. Bro, heading into the Ecuador game, we were shaking. We weren't confident we were going to win. 5 years ago, that team beats Ecuador 5-0. And it's not like Ecuador's not a top dog team. They're not, and they're still not. They've only won one game the entire Copa America so far. And they're going to get knocked out in the first round. I think it's just more on us. We've fallen so much. How dumb are we to ever criticize this team 10 years ago when our whole roster was in Europe, when we had strikers in Real Madrid, when we had players in our Arsenal, when we had players in the Premier League in general? How dumb were we to ever criticize them? We just didn't know how far we were going to fall off. And it's like that famous saying, you don't know what you have until it's gone. Because right now we have so much in 2 years, we have to grow so much so we don't disappoint at the World Cup. Because at this rate, we're not building the team to perform at the World Cup. We're already qualified to the World Cup. We're going to build a team so we don't disappoint, so there's not a fracaso again. Honestly.
Yeah, like for me, this is what needs to happen, bro. Like real quick, this is what needs to happen. Like he needs to get rid of everyone. Like the only ones that can stay on this team. Like Jimmy Lozano, probably not gonna get fired. Unfortunately, I don't think he's even fit for the job. But whatever, can't change that. But he can change the roster. It needs to be Santi Jimenez. Yes, he was a fat disappointment in the Copa America, but what can you do? Nobody from the midfield, nobody from the forwards did absolute shit the whole tournament. So it wasn't just him. And you really have nothing better than Santi Jimenez, to be honest with you. A lot of people criticizing him. Nobody else is better. Not Henry Martin, not Raul Jimenez, not Memo Martinez. Nobody. So Santi Jimenez, Edson Alvarez, the two center backs, Johan Vasquez, Cesar Montes, they were amazing in the Copa America. I have no complaints about them. And then maybe Malagon. Everyone else, their spot should be for the taking. Like
except the under 23 players. Except the under 23.
Yeah,
players.
Exactly. Like the rest of the roster should be filled with nothing but young players, bro. Like start the real generational change now, because there is U23 players good enough to be in this team. Like Rodrigo Huescas has interest from Europe. You just saw Misael Rodriguez. He got signed. Apparently, he signed a 5-year deal with Celta Vigo from Pachuca. You're telling me Celta Vigo wants him, but he can't make La Selección over Antuna? Like, come on, bro. Julian Araujo is played in La Liga last season. He's going to be playing with Barca this season, most likely. How is he not in the team? Like, there's multiple young players. Fidel Ambriz has been the captain and champion of, like, Mexico's U17s, U20s. He's been a CONCACAF champion with León, Liga MX champion with León. He's won everything. Why can't he get in the team? Like, him, Marcelo Flores, Jordan Carrillo. Like, there's a bunch of players. Like Chiquete Orozco, who has interest from Europe right now. He's apparently super close to signing with Anderlecht. Like, we have all these young players. Tapia, one of the better goalies in general in Liga MX. He's only 23 years old. You have Padilla. He could be your third goalie. Apparently, he's going to be playing with the first team this year with Athletic Bilbao in La Liga. There's plenty of young talent to give chances to. Luca Dupuy, who plays for Rosario, who's in the Copa Libertadores this year, 23-year-old striker. Why can't he be on the team? Why does it need to be a 30-year-old Memo Martinez? Memo Martinez is not the present or the future. Like, give these young guys a chance, bro. I swear to you, like, giving these young guys a chance is a win-win situation. You either find out they're not good enough, and you can start and that's fine. But there'll be some growing pains. Like, we might be worse initially, but like they're gonna develop as players. They have a chance to develop, and they don't. So be it. But there could be a few gems that you find. But if you play the same exact roster, if you use this same exact roster moving forward to the World Cup, I promise you, Mexico will make history by being just a second ever host to not make it out of the group. Guaranteed. This roster is not good enough, bro. Like, it's not good enough. This is what this roster is capable of. I think this roster, almost at their best, this is what they are. They're a Copa America group stage exit. That's it. That's all they are. Like, you need to give the youth a chance, bro. There's no way Ecuador, Spain, and all these other countries can play 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, but Mexico can't play anyone under the age of 22. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't even know what to say anymore.
This federation, Liga MX, is so money hungry, but they don't do anything to, like, help themselves either. You didn't play Marcelo. What if Marcelo would have had a breakout tournament and he gets to move to Europe? Tigres would have got some money right there. What if you played, I don't know, Fidel Ambriz? What if you played Rodrigo Huescas? Rodrigo Huescas had already had rumors to go to, like, Feyenoord or the Dutch league, but he couldn't play in the first team? Are you kidding me? Over Jorge Sanchez? Jorge Sanchez is un muerto, ya. Jorge Sanchez is going back to Liga MX. He's done. He's always been a bad footballer. Uriel Antuna, he's done. All these guys have to go. And now, that's what's happening next to the team. Now, what's next for the fans? Us fans. These next two friendlies, these that don't even matter, New Zealand, Canada, in like September and October. If this team pulls up with the same exact troncos, Luis Romo, Charlie Rodriguez, Uriel Antuna, Jorge Sanchez, if this team pulls up with the same troncos, I swear to you guys, Futbol Asada will be the first page to boycott and start a movement for you guys to stop going to these games. We shouldn't go to these games anymore if we don't see change. But if we go to these games and we see change and we see under 23 players and all these deadwood players don't go, then okay, there's instant change. It's time to grow the team. If we see the same guys, don't go to these games, guys. We have to make a change. Like, we have 2 years to not make a fracaso again.
Agreed, bro. I can't. But let us know what you guys think. Where does Mexico go from here? I think the biggest issue is the talent. They need to start exporting to Europe. The Liga MX is no longer good enough. For me, that's the main issue they need to fix moving forward. I think even more than Jimmy Lozano, whatever. But it's the players, bro. The players are just not talented enough. For me, that's the biggest thing. I think you agree with as well. It's the players. It needs to be a real change. So, but yeah, let us know what you guys think.
I think that was it for the little rant. Make sure to drop in the comments section any thoughts you guys have. We read all your comments. Drop a like if you enjoyed the video. And catch us next time because I'm pretty sure we're going to continue ranting throughout the next couple weeks.